Continuing on with guys in the 2018 rookie class who did not sign an extension, we have Deandre Ayton, who becomes the first number one pick since Anthony Bennett to not sign an extension. A list he certainly does not deserve to belong in. Anthony Bennett, of course, a completely different situation. Now, if you two guys were running the Suns, would you give him the max is basically the question, because that's obviously what he's holding out for.
Yes.
Agreed.
Wouldn't question it.
So we got to know. Okay, good. We got to know. Okay, so Mike, you go first.
I think the rationale in this instance is, and bear in mind, they could still extend him after the season, and they can still match whatever contract he gets, which probably will be a max from a different team. I think this is more of a challenge to Deandre Ayton because, again, the thing that's going to make him the player that he was supposed to be when he was drafted number one overall. I don't know if you guys remember when he was coming out of the draft, he was getting a lot of comparisons to Cat, but Cat with all due respect to Cat, with a little bit more defense. So far, he's just been more or less, and I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm not saying he's just an average player. I'm just saying he's not a max contract player. So far, he's been like a decent third, maybe fourth option, a guy that could catch lobs, a guy that could grab boards, a guy that's an interior presence on defense, which is a traditional center. And the thing is, you can pretty much get a player like Deandre Ayton that doesn't have as much upside for a fraction of the price. And if you're the Phoenix Suns, you're in this situation, and it's a very rare situation. The Phoenix Suns haven't been in a point where they're absolute contenders for about 15 years almost. They contended in 2010. I'm sorry, I'm thinking about the prime of the Mike D'Antoni, Steve Nash era, but for about 10 years. So with that being said, you can't really afford to go out and pay what is essentially a dinosaur in the philosophy of basketball in terms of DeAndre Ayton's role. You can't afford to pay a traditional center max contract money. Now, the thing is, DeAndre Ayton, I've always said this, has the ability to potentially develop a three-point jumper. I mean, this is a guy that averaged 76% from the free throw line. You guys already know my free throw rule. If you hit a specific percentage, you have a higher chance of being able to take a step back and potentially develop that jump shot throughout your career. And he's made some shots. When you look at his shooting, like his shooting percentage by distance, there are some shots that he's able to make from 3 to 10 feet away from the basket, but he just doesn't take a lot. And he doesn't take a lot of three-pointers either. So if this is something that he's willing to work on this year, then yeah, I say pay the guy. But if not, I'm not saying don't pay him at all. I'm just don't think he's worthy of the max.
Also, guys, while you're here, this podcast, Laced Up, is also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It would be awesome if you could go check us out there, follow us there, and leave us a review.
Yeah, so guys, we are capping off the giveaway to the first 40,000 subscribers that turn on our notifications for the Laced Up podcast. All you have to do to enter for a chance to win a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X is subscribe, hit that notification bell. If you want to do us a favor, leave a like on the pod and let me know in the comment section down below when it's done. You'll enter for a chance to win a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X.
So apparently DeAndre Ayton wanted a 5-year max from the Suns, and the Suns raised the concept of a 4-year or even 3-year max. But those talks, of course, didn't progress. So apparently the big discussion here is the 5-year versus the 4 or 3-year. With that being said,
yeah, that completely changes my take altogether. Yeah, that's just stupid. If you ask me, that's absolutely baffling.
So they just didn't do the 1 year.
Yeah.
That's insanity. What?
Someone in the front office is like a freaking,
my God, no,
sees into the future and sees DeAndre Ayton going.
So
down
wait, hold on.
You're
You're telling me the billionaire Robert Sarver is who, by the way, is notorious for this. He's known for being a huge cheapskate. Came out and said, "All right, DeAndre, we'll give you the max, but not the 5-year. We're only going to give you 4 or 3." like, like I understand if he was like not that, if he wasn't performing up until his expectations to a certain extent, I guess I could respect that. And maybe if you wanted to challenge him, I guess I understood that. But I don't think Deandre Ayton belongs in the conversation with players like Markelle Fultz and Anthony Bennett. You know what I mean?
When we look at some players that have been getting the max, I'm just like, hell yeah, give Ayton that. Just give it to him. Like, I think he's earned it at this point. I thought at times, he looked like the best big in playoff series. I think when you look at the Phoenix Suns 5, 6, 7 years from now, you're thinking about Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton. You're locking into those two guys. So I'm not sure they're going to have flexibility to. Well, I mean, they might. Maybe they will have the flexibility to go out and get another star, or they'll attract another star. But at the end of the day, I'm thinking about Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton in Phoenix when I think about the Suns.
I had no idea that it was just a year. That's hysterical. Like being a billionaire and say, like, I'm gonna try to.
And I definitely don't think he's a dinosaur at all. I actually I like his skill set. It's kind of what you want in a modern big. I mean, maybe if you call him like a modern dinosaur, all right, maybe, but
I wouldn't call him a dinosaur. I mean, guy's got defensive versatility. He's able to hit a mid-range jump shot that already has been proven on the stat sheet for an entire season. He's got good to great touch around the rim.
He's rangy too. Yeah, I mean,
he's literally a guy, like a 70% shooter from inside. And also during the preseason, he has been showing it looks like he's testing out that 3-point shot. That's a nice addition. I like that he's doing that, but I like to see, maybe add a little bit more to the post game and just continuing to progress. I mean, now he's in talks of being potentially a defensive player of the year candidate going forward in his career. I think it's a guy you absolutely pay for, especially looking at Phoenix. I mean, what else are they gonna do? Now, I'm not necessarily saying that this is one of those situations where it's like, okay, you have to extend him because what else are you gonna do? But really, in this case, you're just going to lose your former number one pick. And now what are you left with? I mean, the Phoenix Suns they're not known for signing big name free agent talent. I mean, they did sign Steve Nash, but that was before he was known as an MVP. They haven't really been signing top guys. When you're in that kind of situation, I feel like you got to just, double down on your own drafted talent. And then maybe if you do want to attract a third star, maybe you're able to develop some of your guys and trade for one. Or if DeAndre Ayton is able to make that climb up to Defensive Player of the Year and become an all-star level player along with Devin Booker, then getting that third guy is that much easier. Or maybe just the pieces around you on that team just, translate into a championship contender too. I mean, the Suns have, a good team around them.
It's kind of disgusting considering the fact that they literally just gave a 36-year-old Chris Paul a 4-year, $120 million contract that they're not willing to pay.
I'm actually going to raise you, and I'm going to say it's disgusting that they gave Shamet, who I love, $43 million. Yeah, that's kind of.
You could also throw out the word
crazy.
Disrespectful. That this is your number one pick. It seems like you're taking care of everyone but him. Like Bridges also got a contract extension, which was good to see because I thought that with this whole Ayton talks, I was like, oh, maybe they're not going to extend Bridges, but he got one.
It's not like any free agents are going to Phoenix. You know what I mean? Like I don't see Kyrie Irving hitting free agency or opting out and saying, all right, I'm gonna sign with the Suns. Like this is this is your number one pick that, he's not Luka. Yeah, he's not Trey.
Whoa. Hey, to be fair, that's in part due because the Suns haven't been good and they've been so dysfunctional. And we know that dysfunction rules all kind of when it comes to these things. And that was a major reason why the Knicks weren't getting anybody for so long, despite everybody always gassing up in why, which I'm sure it's great. I've never been.
I could see. So I feel like historically, Phoenix just isn't really a major free agent destination, but I could see that potentially change with Devin Booker as the head of their franchise, as their franchise guy, because I feel like Book would be a much better recruiter than past stars that they potentially have. So I would be interested down the road. You could see maybe a guy signing with them. But yeah, I mean, I feel like you keep Deandre Ayton. I don't like that this is now going to drag into the season. We heard reports that this is just now like awkward and stuff. Those are just not words you want to hear when you're on your Chris Paul timeline of you want to be getting the most out of your talent and be competing for a championship this season again. So I don't really like it, but
on top of that, Phoenix is a dope city.
Yeah, it is. It's awesome.
I've been there. I was there when I was like 14, but I'll take your word for it. It was cool. It was really cool when I was there. I actually went to a Phoenix Suns game when I was there. I saw Steve Nash play.
Wow.
Damn.
Yep, it was cool. If you're still here while the music is cued, here are 2 videos I think you are definitely going to enjoy. Make sure to click on one of them. Again, I know you're gonna love it. And other than that, have a great day and peace.